East Alabama and West Georgia. This is Kevin Moon from God's Country. It's time for your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's weather. Now, here's my friend, Dr. Don.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. It has been a long night across the nation's midsection. We'll get to that in just a few moments. But first, let me invite you to download Dr. Don's weather app. It's extremely important that you do that today. And also send it as a Christmas gift. And you should do that today as well, because we may have some severe weather to deal with this afternoon. It's very easy to gift Dr. Don's weather app. All you have to do is go to the App Store, search for it. Once you find it, click on it, and then on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a share button. When you click that, another window will open. You'll see that little present icon. Just click it. You put in the email address of the person you want to give it to, and there you go. You have just sent Dr. Don's weather app to your friend, family, and loved ones for Christmas. And just wish them a happy Merry Christmas, and send them that app this morning so that in the event that we have severe weather this afternoon, they'll have the Dr. Don weather app. All right, it has been a mess across the nation's Midwest. Death toll this morning, if you're just getting up, around 50, and feared to go as high as 100 in southwest Kentucky at a candle factory in Mayfield, Kentucky. The governor of Kentucky is calling this a significant, massive disaster event. The damage from a tornado that formed in Arkansas tracked for nearly 200 miles across Arkansas up into extreme northwest Tennessee, and then across the state of Kentucky. At least 24 tornadoes have been reported across Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, and Tennessee. 20 injuries and 1 fatality at a nursing home in Monet, Arkansas. 1 fatality at a Dollar General in Leachville, Arkansas. Interstate 555 near Thurman, Arkansas is closed due to overturned vehicles. And an Amazon warehouse collapsed in Edwardsville, Illinois, just north of St. Louis. 50 to 100 workers were trapped inside the collapsed building, and injuries and fatalities are feared likely at that facility. So all of this is to our northwest. It is part of a vigorous storm system that moved across Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, and Missouri last night, and it's moving in our general direction. So what do we think we're going to have? I'm going to talk about that extensively in this weather forecast, so stay with us. You see here from the Storm Prediction Center, we do now have a slight risk of severe weather, which covers a good chunk of Alabama, all of north and central Alabama, including East Alabama and West Georgia. Now, when we talk about the parameters of our risk of severe weather, it's on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the least and 5 being the greatest threat. The slight risk is a 2, so it's a little bit above a 1. Now, this sends the wrong message to people, because they say, oh, slight risk? Oh, well, that's not a big deal. I'm going to carry on. Yeah, and it may not be a big deal. We're hoping that it's not going to be a big deal, but in the world of weather, a slight risk needs to get your attention. You do need to have multiple ways of receiving severe weather information. You do need to have a severe weather plan. You need to know where your safe place is in your home or place of business, just as we saw last night, unfortunately, up in Kentucky and also in Illinois. 2 major plant facilities were hit by tornadoes, and there are going to be a large number of fatalities and injuries in both of those locations. So if you got to work today, ask your supervisor where your safe place is in your place of business. Make sure you know where it's at. Make sure you know how you're going to receive weather information. The biggest thing you can do to protect your life during severe weather is, number 1, to be aware, to know what's going on, and number 2, know where to go to be as safe as possible if a warning is issued for your area. So download the Dr. Don weather app. Make sure you have a weather radio in your home and place of business. And you want to have more than just the Dr. Don weather app. You want to have maybe 2 or even 3 weather apps on your phone. so that you get it multiple different ways, and make sure you have that weather radio. And they make portable weather radios that you can actually carry with you. They're battery operated. You can get them at all your big box stores. You can get them online. Of course, it's too late to get them online for today, but you see what I'm saying here. Make sure that you're aware. Check the weather radar. Go have an app on your phone where you can look at radar. Understand what you're looking at when you look at that radar. Know where you're located on a map. These are all things that could save your life in the event that we have severe weather. Sorry, I get off on my soapbox. But anyway, we do have a slight risk of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia today. So let's move forward, and we'll take a look at tomorrow. It's all gone. Now, this is the final push that's going to get all this dreary weather out of here that we've been experiencing the last several days. So Sunday looks good and sunny. Monday, pretty much the same. It's going to be a nice day. So let's go back and look at what the National Weather Service office at Birmingham says this morning. They have upgraded us to a slight risk. We were at marginal when we went to bed last night. Now they've upgraded us to a slight risk. I still don't think this is going to be a red letter severe weather day across East Alabama and West Georgia. I don't anticipate anything like what we have seen during the overnight hours up in Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. But I will tell you that the storm system looks a little more potent for our area than it once did. So once we get into that slight risk or anything higher than slight, then you got to raise that eyebrow and you got to start paying attention to what's going on around you. So the timing for the severe weather across East Alabama, the window of opportunity from about 11 a.m. this morning through 4 p.m. this afternoon. Is it going to storm that entire time? No, it will not. But that is the window of opportunity for this line of storms to move through. As we go throughout the morning hours, we'll be able to update that timing for you. And I do anticipate going live this morning somewhere around 8 o'clock Central to give you the absolute latest live information as we begin to watch this storm system move in to the state of Alabama. So let's go look at the weather model this morning. This is a futurecast radar. This is what the computer says is going to happen today. And I don't want you to pay a whole lot of attention to the exact placement, but what we're looking at here is timing. I want to kind of get a general idea of what time this thing is going to come through. And you can see that it is in the process of decaying as it moves through and just south of East Alabama and West Georgia. Certainly doesn't look nearly as strong in South Georgia, South Alabama, as it does right now this morning. So let's take the loop off and let's hit the still shot here so we can give you some timing. All right, so that shows the line right there coming into Clay County, Cleburne, and Randolph at around 2 o'clock Eastern, which is about 1 o'clock Central this afternoon. So again, I think 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock is dead on it. That's what we expect to see. Sometime after 12 noon today, this line will start marching into East Alabama and West Georgia. So we're going to start the day warm because we have a warm front that moved up across us during the overnight hours. You're getting up this morning. It is foggy outside. It's muggy. It feels like severe weather outside, even up here in the North Georgia mountains. It's amazing the difference in the weather conditions outside when we went to bed last night versus this morning. Totally different story. So we're going to hit the low 70s by mid-morning. We'll go to 71 in Roanoke, 70 in Ashland, Lineville, Wedowee, 73 over in Franklin. And then as this front passes through around noon or shortly after, our wind is going to turn out of the northwest. It's going to get extremely windy away from thunderstorms, and our temperature is going to start to crash. We will get down into the upper 50s, maybe even the mid 50s before the sun goes down this afternoon. So we're going to talk about a temperature difference of about 20 degrees as we go throughout the afternoon with a howling northwest wind. It's not going to be a good day for outdoor activities. So keep that in mind. Not only do we have the severe threat, which I still think for East Alabama and West Georgia, the highest threat there is going to be from straight line damaging winds, but we can't rule out a tornado or two And then after this front moves through, we're going to have wind gusts. We're talking sustained winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour, with occasional gust as high as 30 to 35 miles per hour that won't have anything to do with a thunderstorm. So it's going to be windy the remainder of the afternoon. Make sure you got that patio furniture put up, those trampolines. Those things are deadly in these high winds. If you have one in your yard, make sure it is secure. Make sure your patio furniture, anything that's outside, trash can, anything that can blow around, you want to make sure you get it up this morning before this line of storms moves through. So let's take a look at your 6-day forecast. Don't forget to head over to YouTube and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather and click that bell so you get that push notification when we go live for severe weather. So there it is, 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, mainly after 12 noon for East Alabama, after 1 p.m. for West Georgia. We do have a severe risk with these storms that'll be moving through. High temperature around 71 this afternoon. But you see what happens to the temperature? We're going to go down into the mid-30s tonight for your overnight low. 30% chance of rain early in the evening. Then we start to clear out by mid-evening. I think by midnight or shortly after, we're back to mostly starry skies. And then on Sunday, gorgeous weather, but it's going to be cool. High of only 58. Slow warming trend begins on Monday. Back to 61 degrees out there on Monday. Tuesday, 65. Wednesday will maintain the mid-60s. And then by Thursday, we're back up into the 70s. So you know that there's another round of weather coming when we get that warm this time of year. And let's get this stuff out of here today, and then we'll start talking about what may be coming down the road. All right, so we got, I'll take a look at your Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar this morning. And this is what we're looking at. We have a line of showers and thunderstorms moving into northwest Alabama. This is that line of storms that moved through Arkansas and Kentucky last night and caused so much damage. And right this moment, the line is stretching from about Columbus, Mississippi, back up to around Hamilton, Alabama, and then over to near the Huntsville area, near Hillsboro, and then up into Tennessee, there just south of Nashville. South and southeast of Nashville, back up to around Cookeville, out there on I-40. And right now, we don't have that much going on in the way of severe weather. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings up here in northern Tennessee, southern Kentucky, and then right there along the Alabama-Tennessee state line, we have one area that's being under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is up there around Petersburg, Tennessee, just across the Alabama state line. And that's moving off to the east. But in Alabama, this entire line for the moment is being handled with special weather statements, so there are no warnings in effect. We do have a tornado watch that covers a good chunk of northeast Alabama back over into north central and northwest Alabama. So basically, if you are north of Birmingham, you are under a tornado watch this morning. We will see if the Storm Prediction Center pushes that watch any further to the east as the morning goes along. I think as we get the heating of the day going, this line of thunderstorms may re-intensify to a certain degree. So we're going to have to kind of watch this. You know, we talk about this all week long leading up to it. And as you often hear me say, it's time to really stop looking at technology and just raise the window and look outside and see what's happening. That's where we are right now. We're in live mode, so we're kind of watching this thing develop as we go. And looking at East Alabama, we do have a few showers out there this morning. They're not severe. As we put the loop in motion, you can see those showers coming up across Chilton County, extreme northwest Coosa, up into southern Tallapoosa, maybe western Clay County, seeing a few sprinkles out there this morning. But again, that is not severe, and that's not the area where we would expect to see severe weather. That would be coming from this line up here in northwest Alabama Alabama that'll be in here around noon or shortly after this afternoon. And that box you see on the screen, you can kind of tell where the watches are this morning. Those yellow counties that's a tornado watch. And there's those pink counties kind of sandwiched in between the yellows. Those counties are also under a tornado watch. For some reason, the high wind warning is kind of covering up the yellow of those counties. But all of northwest, northeast, and north central Alabama under a tornado watch this morning. So that kind of brings you up to date on where we are. Again, a horrific, catastrophic situation across Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois. During the overnight hours, multiple fatalities, multiple large facility collapse with just devastating tornado. Up to 25 tornadoes reported last night across those states. And we're going to watch this system as it moves in our general direction as we go throughout the day. I'll be back sometime around 8 a.m. this morning, and we'll do a live update. Meanwhile, we invite you to go over to drdonwx.com. A couple of things you need to do there. Number one, the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a donate button. Please support us any way you possibly can. Also, you see a couple of buttons there to download the Dr. Don Weather app. Important, people, you need to do this. Number one, you'll get the push notification when we go live for severe weather. Number two, you'll get weather alerts for East Alabama and West Georgia. Now, if you live outside of East Alabama and West Georgia, you're not going to get weather alerts on our app. And it doesn't follow you. Our app is specifically for East Alabama and West Georgia. It's designed that way on purpose. But if you live in any of our coverage areas across East Alabama and West Georgia, you're going to want to download the Dr. Don Weather app and give it to your friends and family for Christmas this year as well. And while you're at drdonwx.com, click on that More button, scan down, you'll see a page for God's Country. You can download the God's Country, or you can download the Mixer app and then listen to God's Country anywhere in the whole wide world. They'll appreciate it, and so will I, because you get my daily weather forecast. So hang in there with us. We're going to be following this throughout the day. And, of course, like I said, I'll be back around 8 a.m. Central this morning with a live update as we watch this severe weather move across the state of Alabama on Dr. Don's Weather.